Come out with us and play. Love your London. Have a banana. Welcome to our second episode on Alperton, Stonebridge and surroundings. Today we'll be checking out where Rizla used to make their famous cigarette papers. Plus we'll be checking out the Grand Union Canal. But most of this episode is going to be about the iconic Ace Café on the North Circular Road. And we're even going to meet the new mayor. So get your motors running and join us now for episode 2. Okay, so we are here at the legendary, and when I say legendary,
really speak loudly.
I know. When I say legendary, I really mean it. This is the legendary Ace Café. Now, everyone who knows about music, about the history of the music, especially history of the mods and the rockers, will know what the Ace Café is all about. As you can hear, the noise of the engines is very loud. So I'm going to be speaking quite loudly. This cafe opened in 1938 and it was open 24 hours at a time up until I think 1969 when it closed down. But then it reopened in 1997 to great fanfare. And I've seen some fantastic gigs in here. I saw King Kurt. King Kurt was absolutely brilliant. I was right at the front of the stage when King Kurt started playing Destination Zululand, and I wasn't actually expecting it. It's just Psychobilly's hair suddenly poked me in the eye. He was suddenly bouncing up and down, and it hit me in the eye. That was fantastic. Other great gigs I've seen here. I've seen the 5, 6, 7, 8s. I'm sure you remember them. That's that Japanese garage rock band. They were in there, and actually Suggs from Madness was there enjoying them with me. I had a nice chat with him because I used to know him from the days when I used to drink in Rivington Street. Now we're actually here. We're going to have a look around the cafe in a moment, but this is actually a very special day because the new mayor, is on with the entourage. Is on their way. They're doing this sort of like special. They're doing this special a charity walk, and this is part of the charity walk to Mayor's Charity. Okay, now let's go and have a little walk around, and let's try and find Mark Willsmore. Hi, how you doing?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Another elbow going.
Yeah,
I'm Sharon.
Sorry, big
That's
pardon,
it.
Sharon.
Fantastic.
So you've not been stopped by police or anything like that?
No, not at all. No, yeah, you saw the first episode.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed your first episode. And
Here's our card, by the way.
Start. What a brilliant start.
Fantastic. Oh, this here is Mark Willsmore. He is the owner of the Ace Cafe, a
The light behind us,
bit of a
though,
legend
if you don't mind.
on the
That's
scene.
better. Perfect.
I mean, I don't know if I've explained a little bit about the history about when it opened in 1938 and then it closed down in
No. Yes, you're right. Big one.
1938, and then it closed down in 1969, I think, for a while, and then that big reopening, which I came to in 1997.
Get the microphone out.
Sorry, yes, I'll put a...
I'll stay back here.
What is not particularly evident when we stood here is, of course, the cafe is kind of hidden behind the gazebos.
Yes.
Because they're all here to do with pandemic stuff.
Oh, we'll just interrupt Mark there for a second. In order for us to show you what the Ace Cafe looks like in all her glory, we returned the following day. This also enabled Sharon to draw the cafe, and her latest pen and ink drawing will be on eBay for 10 days from the day this episode goes live. The link is in the description below. Anyhow, back to Mark. Of course.
But nonetheless, the road in front of us is the old North Circular Road.
That's right, yeah.
And what looks like this great expanse of openness, back in 1938, that was a rubbish dump.
I'm going to tell your wife you're putting on too much weight, mate.
I am all the time. It's the toast eater down here. It's the toast. Massive rubbish dump that has now all been dug out and built upon, so you'd never know it was here. But the last bit of the rubbish dump looks like a hill. Is that over there?
Right.
And it's understanding that embankment for that rubbish dump went up higher than the railway.
Wow. This was when? This was been
this is in up through to the 70s and the 80s. I think it's the late 80s. They started digging it all out, putting in a new motorway version of the North Circular. But these premises, Ace, it was a cafe, filling station, motor showrooms, motor work. It was huge.
Yeah. I want to ask because I've noticed that there is an Ace Cafe in Orlando in Florida, Lahti in Finland, there's one in Beijing and one in Lucerne.
That's correct, yes.
Are they all owned by the same people, or?
No. They're all part of, I'll term it, the family here, with arguably petrol heads to blame.
Yeah.
And it's licensing those parties. They're not like franchises.
So it's not like the Hard Rock Cafe of time. No. It's just different.
Each is different, and you're thinking the one in Orlando, perhaps. The buildings there, they're the oldest buildings in Orlando. That have been sort of repurposed, as it were. Quite extraordinary old buildings there. And needless to say, America, it's huge.
Yes. Yeah.
This ramp wasn't here back in the day.
No.
This was put in when it was turned into a tyre shop. So all the glass had been stripped out and people driving with their cars to get tyres fitted. And when you came in back then, you'd come in as pretty much, if it wasn't pandemic, you'd come in through these front doors.
Yeah.
The staircase didn't exist back then, but there was a jukebox where the staircase is, and either side doors to the toilets.
Yeah.
The counter back in the day is exactly where the counter is today, but of course back then didn't serve alcohol.
Yeah.
And there had been a balustrade in here where you'd enter behind that balustrade at the counter and come along and go, fried egg, chips, and you'd get to effectively where the end of the counter is, and that was a wall. This side was caf, the other side restaurant.
Yeah.
And restaurant, I'm told, you had effectively to book a table.
Yeah.
It was very much white. You have to think of the vehicles back then. Guys driving trucks and whatnot would be covered in grease and oil.
Yeah.
Having every time they'd stop, they'd be re-greasing the axles and the brake drums and steering points, covered in grease. And all the office wallers and whatnot, white collar, didn't want to sit in a greasy chair, so they'd all be in the restaurant at the other end. So youngsters were never allowed in that bit. So typically, I'll take old guys coming here who perhaps were here in 1958. It was never this big.
No.
Because in their mind, they can recall the caf space, not the restaurant.
I saw 5, 6, 7, 8s here. That was brilliant. And,
Yes,
and King Kurt's.
It was
5, 6, 7, 8. And Suggs was here as well, watching it.
No, we've been really fortunate with some fantastic bands like those you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Really, I would say seminal moments.
Yeah, I was really glad to be here.
Quite special. We love rock and roll here.
Oh yes, I love rock and roll.
But have a look upstairs.
please do.
I'll draw your attention to the 59 Club panel.
Oh yeah.
Because again, back in the day, kids, huge numbers of kids, post-war, and in a very, very poor and tough area of London, an area called Hackney.
Yeah.
The vicar there realised the kids got nothing to do, and he opened a youth club for the youngsters.
Yeah.
Called the 59 Club.
Yes.
Because that's the year he opened it, and that opening was attended by the Royal Highness Princess Margaret.
Yeah.
As patron of Church of England youth clubs.
Yeah.
Cliff Richard, superstar.
Yeah.
A hugely popular club. And of course all those young 14-year-olds going there to listen to rock and roll, they all wanted to have motorbikes. And as the club got bigger and bigger, they needed more help over there. So another vicar went over to join that club and to help run it, Father Bill Shergold.
Right.
He was a motorcyclist.
Yeah.
So all those kids at the club kept on at Father Bill to invite the boys from the Ace.
Yes.
And eventually Father Bill came here in 62, invited the youngsters here to come to his church for a blessing of the bikes.
Right.
The kids did, filled the church, and there's a photo just there, you'll see they're reproduced on the panel showing Father Bill with the youngsters and bikes in the church. And in the subsequent days, in essence, he was lampooned in the press.
Right.
And of course kids saw that all over the country. A club for us.
And the grown-ups don't like it.
Yes.
I'm going.
Exactly. Thousands and thousands joined.
The press
very,
says
very
no,
quickly.
we say yes.
That's it. Exactly
Up until about 12 years ago, it used to live in Plaistow, and I remember
That's it.
I remember it used to be in there. It moved there. In fact, I think it's still there.
All sorts. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed, you're right. And Teddy Boys, new suit every week in the 50s.
Yeah.
A bit of
New
grilled
clothes.
cream, a dabble, do you?
Did these used to be on the wall downstairs?
No, there are other ones.
There are other ones.
That's
Right.
it.
But what I love to point out, and I point out to you guys, is with the advent of rock and roll and the film Rock Around the Clock, kids would go to the cinema to watch this, and of course the music strikes up, and they want to dance.
Yeah.
Then it would say, no, sit down, and then it's rock and roll riots, teddy boys, this. And when you read these newspaper reports, cabinet moves to smash the teddy boy gangs, Tory MPs urge action, you could take out the word teddy boy and put in any youth, any subculture you care to mention. It's exactly the same. So you can go through the years, take out teddy boy, put in talent boy, put in rock, put in mod, put in punk, put in hoodie, put in whatever you like.
Yeah.
It is exactly the same age group, same estates.
Yeah.
The social dynamics do not change.
No.
1938,
Look at that.
it's thought to be the first automatic car law
Yeah, it was like,
Oh,
in the
right.
UK, which is just there.
That's automatic.
Yeah, 1938.
Jeez,
and then
nice.
when you look at how much, you realise that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you know, most people done the work by push bike or walking.
yeah, if you had a car,
It was
you
12,
looked after it.
it was
boy.
12 pence in a shilling back then, wasn't it?
That's
Yes.
3 decimal.
But I haven't I remember now. But when you look at the average weekly wage that
Yeah.
someone might get, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be driving one of those
No.
if you were working for your average
No.
wage.
That's middle
Cost as much
classes
as a
upwards.
house. Yes.
Middle classes
They're beautiful. Yeah, good shot.
And it-
Well, look at that little thing. My dad's gonna love this.
And the chap in that picture of the two dogs is Vic Edinburgh, the guy who started all of this.
That looks like the courtesy of the Luftwaffe there.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Had trouble identifying railway bridges from Café.
Yeah. No, it was not that easy. Thankfully, there was someone that got missed.
And you might have seen, if you've come by tube, I'm not sure the route now because of the works out in the carriageway there, but you may have seen metal silhouettes of motorbikes whizzing along,
Right.
affixed to the fencing on the other side, but through those railway bridges and right by the tube station.
Yeah.
Again, that was all installed by the local authority. And if you know your bikes, you know, that's a BSA.
This wasn't, the mods wouldn't normally drink here so much. It was.
Well, the dynamics evolve with time, because CAFs back in the day, kids would come here because they can't hear rock and roll anywhere. It's only on the jukebox.
Yeah.
There's no radio station playing it. There's no clubs. But people, those youngsters coming here, would then get it into their head to let's start a band.
Yeah.
Let's open a club. So gradually the music became accessible to more and more youngsters, and as that music had originally came in from America through the troops and merchant marine and whatnot, of which there were thousands of American troops around here back in the 50s, of course a few years on you have the advent of frothy coffee and cappuccino machines, espresso machines, and all that. It becomes quite a fashionable thing, the Italian styles, the clothes, and hand in hand with that you then get a new music arriving from America, rhythm and blues, R&B. So typically the young always want the latest and the newest and the freshest things, so they take to that new music. And those youngsters wearing sharp new suits, Italian styled, and it's a new suit every week, it's new shoes every week. They're called modernists. And famously in 1964, the coincidence being that the scooters and Lambrettas and Vespa scooters were under 250cc, so a huge promotion, because a new law had come in limiting the size of the engine which a youngster could ride to 250cc. Massive promotion, and the modernists took to these scooters. They were accessible, and typically they'd buy the cheapest thing going to wear over the top of their suit. And the cheapest thing going was a discarded US Army Parker, which today has become a sort of an icon of mod. It is actually a garment bought initially to protect the real gear underneath.
Right, yeah.
So youngsters would typically meet up, where should we go, lovely weather, blah, blah, blah. And of course, over the bank holiday weekends of 64, if you were in this part of London, northwest London, you'd either just head straight east, let's go to Southend, straight east on North Circular, just follow it round and get to Southend Arterial, just follow that.
Yeah.
Or go the other way round, over the bridge at Brentford, follow it round, the A23 and go to Brighton.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lived over South London, particularly South East, you'd go to Hastings. So youngsters, nice weather, let's go to the seaside.
Yeah.
And of course, pre-World War II, if you wanted to go anywhere as a working class basically, you'd either got a train or a bus. And this is the first time youngsters that own mobility, own means of transport, wind up in those seaside towns who go, oh my God, where'd they all come from? And panic sets in, and it's then reported mods and rockers riots, blah 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 blah. And what's worth noting is that the word, or the term rather, rockers, doesn't really appear before 64. It's only post the advent of the mods and the newspapers. These modernists, aren't they? The mods. What are the other lot? All ton-up boys, calf racers. And they listen to rock and roll. Rockers. So from 64 onwards, it's rockers, mods and rockers.
This used to be 24 hours, isn't it, until 69?
Yes.
Yeah. This is where the stage was.
Here, look out. That looks like a triumph. We had a triumph.
Oh yes, I remember this one of the things.
That thing.
This is where I was.
This is a British guy who, the Lambretta, I'd suggest is the icon of the mods. It's got particular style cues, particular design and whatnot, and of course modern emission rules and all the rest of it. So you cannot make those Lambrettas again. However, British fella realised, take that design, put it on a modern platform, and he set up what's called Scamadi.
So these are new?
These are modern. But he's captured the lines in my opinion, spot on for a Lammy.
How much do these retail for normally?
Oh my goodness, I've no idea. But if you go on the website, look up Scamadi, you'll find them.
Do people still take them out with lots of mirrors and stuff?
Yeah. But it all complies with modern emission things and all the rest of it.
I love it.
It may seem silly, but it is the stuff we actually, it is the stuff we serve here. But we're very proud of this. It helps with everything.
Fantastic.
Perfect for global pandemics.
Yeah.
It's perfect for those moments sat outside barbecuing. For every eventuality, this is the perfect thing. The Ace Cafe London tea bag. And I felt it's just something I had to show you and share with you. If anybody would like them, they're available online.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much.
It's a silly thing, but
no, that's brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, but you have to be the practice race.
It's cider o'clock. Yay! Oh, that is nice. Even if it is in the plastic glass, that is nice.
Tristan, Sharon, they have a YouTube channel called Love Walk London.
Lovely.
They're filming Mayor, but do look it up.
Yeah.
At the start of the first one, A for action, magical.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So we've done
Mayor's
action.
driver, so the Mayor is about 10 minutes away.
Oh,
Deputy Mayor Mark.
Sorry, Deputy Mayor.
The Deputy Mayor. So basically, one of the things that we do, this is another way of supporting the channel, is Sharon does some art. The link is down below there now, where you can order it on eBay. You've got 10 days from the day that this episode goes live. So if you're watching this and it's already 10 days ago that it went live, you're too late.
It's too late. But
unless of course it doesn't sell, we have to list it again. But all the previous ones have sold.
So do bid, and I look forward to presenting it for you.
Excuse me, you might want to check your downstairs.
What's that, mate?
You might want to check downstairs.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
Might get a bit breezy.
Thank you, guys.
No worries. Hey. Some airbrush. Yes. inside, you got to have a red dragon. Nice there. Have a little walk by. A little Triumph. Just doing a little scenery here. It's cool. Touring bike. Yamaha.
David Edward Sutch, Screaming Lord Sutch, 3rd Earl of Harrow, 10th of November 1940 till the 16th of June 1999. Musician, politician and fundraiser at the first Ace Café reunion. That was in 1997. Screaming Lord Sutch, of course, is famous for starting a political party to give an alternative to the established parties called the Monster Raving Loony Party. And Lord Sutch was a fantastic musician, absolutely brilliant. I've had the absolute pleasure of seeing him live at the Hemsby Pontins holiday camp for the second big rumble, and that was in 1990, and I was international manager of a rockabilly band called Los Renegados from Valencia in Spain. Hello Luis, hello everyone else who's watching this, Screaming Lord Sutch was there, as were Necromantics and Demented Argo and Boozy and the Razorbacks and lots of fantastic bands from all over the world, psychobilly and rockabilly alike. And Lord Sutch was there, and so he was on stage. He was playing, I think, just before us. He was actually here at the reopening of the Ace Café in 1997, and there was a plaque. He sadly passed away. Terrible loss to the community. Obviously the party's still going strong, yes, in fact I think the party is now run by someone and his cat. They both run the Monster Raving Loony Party. I will double check that. They may have loony, crazy, just like this whole scene. Love it. Oh, and if you would like to support us in any way, please like this video, subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already, share this video, and we are even on Patreon. We appreciate that this is a longer episode than usual, and we thank you for your patience. Later on we'll be checking out the original Rizla factory just behind the Ace Café, and also we'll be showing where the Rolling Stones filmed their Rock and Roll Circus concert. But there's another reason why we're here at the Ace Café today. The new Mayor of Brent, Lia Colacicco, has been undertaking a walk around Haringey, accompanied by representatives of the favourite charities of the outgoing mayor, Councillor Ernest Ezeajughi. The walk finished at the Ace Café, and before we talk about the Rizla factory and whatnot, we have exclusive interviews with the new mayor as well as the charity representatives. So this is Otis from the Jason Roberts Foundation, and
How you doing? You okay?
Yes.
Good to see you.
so what Jason Roberts does, I mean, a lot of people will remember Jason Roberts. He used to be a footballer from Grenada.
Yes.
And he used to play for
Blackburn, Wigan, Bristol Rovers, West Bromwich Albion.
I had him actually in my fantasy football team.
Did you?
And he scored an amazing goal at the end of against Bolton Wanderers.
Bolton, yes,
1-2 was an amazing goal.
I remember
That
that.
was fantastic. 2007 or something like that.
Yes, it was. Actually.
Anyway, so and Jason Roberts, I believe, he set up this charity to look after disadvantaged children in the UK and in Grenada. He was the Grenada International.
Correct.
And you are and so Jason Roberts Foundation is one of the favoured charities of the Mayor of Brent.
Yes.
Along with the Sickle Cell Foundation. Do you want to say a little bit about Jason Roberts Foundation? Or
The foundation was set up in 2007 actually. Just a passion from the family to try and give back both in the UK where we're from and in the Caribbean. So we're fortunate enough to be able to still keep going. It's quite difficult times, and we started off with football programs with Jason being a footballer, but then we kind of over the years we've kind of go across different sports, education, pathways, employment, media opportunities. So we're just delighted to be able to continue our work over the period of time.
That's fantastic. And you're based quite locally to here, is that right?
Yeah, we are. Our headquarters is just over the road there in Stonebridge at the new Bridgestone Arena. So we're fortunate to have a facility that we've been able to still deliver some programs during this difficult time.
You're from the
Sickle Cell Society.
The Sickle Cell Society. So
hi.
This is also another favourite charity of the Mayor.
Yeah.
Do you want to say a little bit about the Sickle Cell Society?
Yeah, the Sickle Cell Society's been in Brent for over 40 years. We're a national charity, although we're located in Brent. And, our raison d'etre is to support people here in Brent, across London, the Midlands, the North West, the South, to support them to help with their condition. And we've been doing that for a very long time. And the important thing is that we want to make a difference to the lives of people who live with sickle cell and their families. So we're very grateful for Councillor Ernest, the Mayor, and the Mayor-elect to support our work, and I've been delighted to be part of today's walk. So all in aid of the work that we do to support people with sickle cell in the UK.
So we're here. I'm here. This is the Deputy Mayor of Brent, soon to be the Mayor of Brent. Next month, is that right?
Yes.
Next month is Councillor Colacicco. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you've been on a big long walk today to raise awareness about the Sickle Cell charity and the Jason Roberts charity, which I've just spoken to the organisations. Let's say a little bit more about the walk, or
it was just we learnt all about the history of Brent, and particularly the sort of industrial history, because lots of the old the McVitie's factory, we went there. They were very kind to us, gave us lots of biscuits, and also we saw the old Heinz site, and just factories galore really, and distribution centres too. Yeah, I was just offering to do some notes, just some ideas of the history of Brent, interesting things, interesting people. Jagger and Richards lived down the road from me for a while when they were in their drug phase, and all sorts of stuff. So I'll do you a little list.
okay.
See what takes you. And artists, industrial history, everything. And big, huge, one of the biggest recording studios, every seminal 70s band, I think we call Morgan's in Wilston High Road. So there's a big, lots of stuff coming up, Brent.
Okay. Yes, fantastic. Yes, I'll record that. Are you going to say it now or send an email?
What's off the top of my head, or put it in the email?
On top of my head.
Top of my head. So Jagger Richards, Morgan Recording Studios, and other big famous recording studios of the 70s, where all the big albums were made. In the industrial history, McVitie's, I think they said they produced more biscuits than anyone else this year in the world. This was a big industrial. It's the biggest in the world again. Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and there was also an airfield in Cricklewood. And there's loads of famous people who started off in Brent.
I know London Weekend Television used to be based just there.
Oh really? I didn't know that. But the funny thing is, when people make it, they move out of Cricklewood. So the A5 was the Roman road. and it was like two countries. There were different laws, different currencies. It was like an international boundary at one time. So we were in the front line. Right. Yeah. I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But we've got the cabinet war rooms up. Secret cabinet under in Dollis Hill.
Yes. Well, we're going to be covering Dollis Hill in separate episodes. So these episodes are mainly about Alperton, Stonebridge, and Tokington or
right, you've got to do one on Cricklewood, come on.
Oh, we will be doing Cricklewood as well. We're going to do Cricklewood as well. We're doing the whole of London.
100 plus places.
114 different areas of London.
It's going to take us 12 years.
Okay. So we will be in Cricklewood in about 3 years' time. So,
hang in there.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you, your honour.
Yes, congratulations.
So just to explain, there's going to be a link which is also appearing at the bottom of your screen, and there's also in the description below to an Eventbrite page where people can donate £5, and then they'll be given a password, and they'll be able to watch the film. The film's going to be available online from the 30th of April till the 18th of May.
Jason Roberts Foundation and Sickle Cell Society will get money from people donating, and in exchange they get to see a film and they get a walk, a guide to the walk. Fantastic. So it's great stuff.
Fantastic. Okay, so here we are at the river.
The lovely Brent.
Here is our bikes for today, our Brompton bikes. The historic River Brent.
Isn't it pretty? Isn't it lovely?
Well, it is. I mean, it's obviously got this cement straight
it's a
thing.
manscape.
Yes, but funnily enough, later on we're going to be showing you a little bit up there where it's absolutely lovely. What they've done, they've re-welded it, so it's all got meanders and stuff going through Brent Park, or Monk's Park as most people call it around here. Or Tokington Recreation Ground, it's another name for it. But when we go past it, you'll see how they've re-welded it again, which is fantastic. Really important. Also, this river is really important for eels. This is just imagine all the eels born in the Sargasso Sea. They make their way up this river. This is a really important river for eels, and in fact, they are endangered at the moment, eels, which is really surprising, because when you think of the amount of eel pie and mash shops that have closed, it hasn't had any knock-on effect. The eels are in serious decline, mainly because of climate change,
Habitat destruction.
But because they've re-welded parts of this river, that's really, really good for the eels, for the eels, the eels and the elvers. But yeah, so this is a big eel area. In fact, if you want to, you can actually sign up and monitor the eels. I think it's from April to September.
Save the eels.
Save the eels. So I'm going to give some details also in the description below about how you can sign up to monitor the eels. But it's a really important volunteering project that's happening. We're just going to have a quick look up there. That's Beresford Avenue. There's a couple of interesting places to show you there. So follow us. Okay, so there's the Ace Cafe just over there. We're at the back.
You can see them?
Yeah, we're at the back of the Ace Cafe now. This is Beresford Avenue. This building here is the trading post. Since 1938, the trading post has been providing props for the film and television industry. In fact, the London Weekend Television Studios used to be just over there. We'll talk about that in a minute. So in here, you have props for everything. If you go on their website, you've got the details in the description below, and in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you've got the URL. You can order anything from you can order it for like the weekend. You can order it for a certain amount of time.
Something for the weekend?
Yes. Well, I mean, anything like from like if you want to have a film about Cleopatra, you've got full of loads of ancient artifacts in there which you can hire. We can probably have a little look through the window now and maybe see some of it. But let me just tell you also what this building is famous for. Before the trading post took it over, this was the Rizla factory. This is where Rizla cigarette papers were made. Obviously, Rizla is a French company. It comes from Rizla, as you will have seen on the packaging. It's written R-I-Z. and then LA, and then a cross, Rizla. That's because Riz for rice, and La, cross, is because the people who ran the company were called La Croix. Now, Rizla is obviously been going, I mean, that company, the La Croix company, started making cigarette papers in the 1500s. That's how old it is. But the Rizla brand name started in the mid 1800s, when La Croix family realised that rice was actually perfect for cigarette papers. And their major manufacturing factory was right here, until 1938, when the Trading Post took it over. But yeah, so this is the Rizla. It's a really little cute advert you're seeing on your screen right now for the Rizla brand. Thank you. Just opposite the Trading Post, we have this. Unfortunately, there's nothing here now to see. It's going to be an on-site nursery and co-op convenience store and a new place to live. The London Weekend Television Studios were there, but it's mainly known for the Intertel Studios. That's a circus tent where on the 11th of December 1968 the Rolling Stones had their Rock and Roll Circus, which was it was to celebrate a tour that never happened. It was the very last time that Brian Jones actually played with the Stones, and what it was a concert. It featured The Who, Jethro Tull, Marianne Faithfull, and there was a supergroup there as well called the Dirty Mac. The Dirty Mac was John and Yoko, together with Eric Clapton, Keith Richards, and there were a few others as well. It was meant to be on the BBC, but the Stones decided to withhold it, so it was never actually shown commercially until 1996. Now, there's lots of reasons why that happened. No one's exactly sure. One of the possible reasons is out of respect of Brian Jones. The more likely reason is the fact that Mick Jagger was not very happy with their performance, because they were quite exhausted, and also The Who, who had just come from a tour and were sort of like young and full of energy. They actually outplayed the Rolling Stones in that event. So I think Mick Jagger was a little bit jaded about that. So that's one of the other reasons why it was not actually released at the time. We have no actual 100% knowledge of exactly why it was pulled, but this is where it was filmed. So a really important site on the rock and roll location tour of London. Ace Café's just over there. This, funny enough, is not the River Brent. This is the Grand Union Canal, which crosses the River Brent. Grand Union Canal is a massive canal, part of the whole canal waterways infrastructure. And if you're interested in canals, you can actually check out where we cleaned the Regent's Canal in Limehouse, the Limehouse Basin.
Was that back in December?
Yes, there's a link. There'll be a link just down there at the bottom. But yeah, anyway, we're just going to pop down there, just show you where the. This is quite interesting, where the canal actually crosses the North Circular Road. Fascinating piece of engineering, this. As I said, this is the canal. Down there, if you look down there.
Oh, that's the Brent.
That's the Brent down there.
That's where the eels go.
Yeah, I'm sure there are eels in the canal as well.
Go there to die by the look of it too.
Yeah. It's not the only thing that goes under the canal. The North Circular goes under the canal.
Yeah.
Isn't this amazing? First of all, I just wanted to show you that little building over there.
Oh, sure, with the...
Yeah. That is actually a World War II pillbox. Well, that pillbox over there, you can see that there are little windows on the outside, all bricked up. Those are the embrasures where they used to have machine guns poking out the side. Right. Why here? Well, obviously it's to protect the canal.
This is an important place.
It's to protect the canal, because obviously the North Circular Road is underneath. Yeah. Funnily enough, there has been an attack on this bridge, not by the Germans though, but by the Irish. There was a failed campaign by the Irish Republican Army called the S-Plan, That was part of their what they called the sabotage campaign, which was in 1939, a 14-month period from January 1939 to March 1940. It was part of a series of campaigns over a 14-month period, but it was largely a failure because a lot of their campaigns didn't actually work. But one of the things they did manage to do is they set off an explosive device on this canal, and they didn't actually knock the whole thing out. That was their intention. They did make a hole in the side of the canal, and a lot of cars that were underneath at the time did get very wet. In fact, I believe there was a bit of a sort of like campaign for everyone to rush out and help clear the cars from the flooding, but there was no real serious damage. It could have been a lot worse. Oh, and there's, by the way, you can see Wembley Stadium. There's a brand new Wembley Stadium. We're going to be looking at a part. We're not going to be covering Wembley Stadium in this series because we're going to be doing Wembley separately, but there is going to be a part of the old Wembley Stadium that we're going to be showing you later on, which is quite exciting, which is in a little field just down there, which is fun.
Exciting.
It is exciting, especially for football fans, and I mean, it's
and field fans.
Yes. Well, we'll see. We're squeezed in a place called the Field. As you may have seen flash up on your screen just now, that particular gem will happen in episode 4. But first we will have episode 3, in which we will be talking about the amazing new sport of foot golf that is taking Alperton by storm. We'll be visiting Park Royal and Hanger Lane stations. Plus we'll be trying to work out why there is an aeroplane hidden behind a Chinese supermarket. Till next time. From Acton Town to Wimbledon, from Brixton to Beale, love your London, have a banana.